Hello and welcome to your own channel Learn Electrical. In today's video, I will be discussing about testing of transformer. This video is going to be a little bit of lengthy, but I will request you to please watch the full video because every testing procedure of a transformer is covered in this video. So let's start the video. A transformer undergoes different testing in factories as well as site for confirming its specification and its performance as per the design criteria. The transformer manufacturer perform three main type of testings at the factory. These are known as the type testing, routine testing, and special testing. After the test done at factory, the transformer are dispatched to the customer sites where again it is tested for pre-commissioning testing, periodic condition-based monitoring testing, and emergency testing. The transformer type test is done to prove that the transformer meets customer specification and design expectation. These tests are carried out for confirming the basic design expectation of our transformer. These tests are done only in the prototype units for confirming its main and basic design criteria. In short, a type test of a transformer confirms what type of transformer it is. This test includes winding resistance test, ratio test, vector group test, polarity test, open circuit test, short circuit test, insulation resistance test, dielectric test or insulation test, impulse test, temperature rise test, testing on on-load tap changer, vacuum testing on tank and radiator, magnetic balance test, and magnetizing current test. The routine tests of transformer are done to confirm the operational performance of individual units in a production lot. Routine tests are carried out on each and every unit manufactured. A transformer undergoes all the type testing procedure in case of routine testing also except for temperature rise and vacuum testing on tank and radiator. Some special testing are also done at the factory. Special testing are the tests that is done other than the routine testing or type testing. These are tests done specifically to know other additional properties of transformer as per the mutual agreement between the customer and the manufacturer. These tests include determination of capacitance between winding and out between the windings. This is also known as the tan delta testing. Dielectric special testing, zero sequence impedance of a three-phase transformer, harmonics or no load current, determination of acoustic sound level, transient voltage transfer between the windings, measurement of power taken by a fan and pump, test on the transformer accessories such as glucose relay, temperature indicator, etc. is also performed as a part of the special testing. Sweep frequency analysis is also a special testing of transformer. Now, having described all the test procedures, I will now cover this test procedure one by one. First, I will describe the winding resistance measurement test. The winding resistance test of transformer is a type test as well as a routine test of transformer. In factory, this test is carried out to calculate the I square loss of the transformer. It also helps in calculate the winding temperature at the end of the temperature rise test of the transformer. In field test, this test is also performed as a benchmark test to assess the possible damage. It is done at site in order to check for the abnormalities due to loose connection, broken strands of conductor, high contact resistance in tap changers, high voltage leads and bushing. The procedure of the test is simple. The transformer should be isolated from the system and the transformer should be in rest for 3 to 4 hours so that the winding of the transformer comes to the ambient temperature. Different methods are available for the testing of the winding resistance test. These are the current voltage method, bridge method, Kelvin double bridge method, and automatic winding resistance measurement kit. In practical or in the commercial purposes, automatic winding resistance measurement kit and Kelvin double bridge method is basically used as these methods are very accurate in comparison to the current voltage method or the Wheatstone bridge method. After the winding resistance measurement test, the transformer is tested for its ratio test. Ratio test of a transformer is an AC low voltage test which determines the ratio of high voltage winding to all other winding at no load condition. The trans ratio test is performed on all taps for every winding. The procedure of the test is also simple. The transformer should be isolated from the system, and here a automatic trans ratio tester equipment is shown in the picture here. The equipment has two leads, that is marked in H and marked in X. The H leads are known as the high voltage test lead. One part of the lead is connected to the machine and other part of the lead is connected to the transformer HV winding. The low voltage lead, one part is connected to the instrument and other part is connected to the transformer low voltage winding. High voltage voltage is injected from the instrument to the transformer high voltage winding, and from the transformation action in the transformer, voltage is induced in the low voltage winding of the transformer. These low voltages will be fed via this low voltage test lead to this instrument, and the instrument internally calculate the ratio between the high voltage windings and the low voltage winding. We should remind in our mind that the measured ratio should be within the 0.5% of the calculated ratio. Now we will study the vector group test of the transformer. Vector group test is done for verifying whether a transformer can be put in parallel operation or not. In distribution substation or transmission substation or generating substation, transformer are operated in parallel condition, and for operation of transformer in parallel condition, vector group of the transformer should be same. Hence, every electrical power system or power transformer must undergo through vector group testing of transformer at factory site for ensuring the customer specified vector group of the transformer. The phase sequence or the order in which the phases reaches their maximum positive voltage must be identical for the parallel operation of the two transformers. Otherwise, during the cycle, each pair of phases will be short circuited. A transformer HV or LV can be connected in various ways, and likewise four groups are formed. The group 1 connection of the zero phase displacement, that is star star 0 delta delta 0. Group 2 connection are 30-degree lag, where the secondary line voltage or line current will lag the primary line voltage and line current by an angle 30-degree. Star YD1 and DY1 are the two possible connection here. In group 3 connection, there will be 180-degree phase displacement between the primary and the secondary connection. YY6 and DD6 are the two connection available here. In the group 4 connection, 30-degree lead result is possible. That means the secondary quantities will lead the primary quantities by an angle 30-degree. YD11 and DY11 are the connection for this group 4. So 8 number of possible connection of the transformer is possible. So vector group testing of transformer is a very vast procedure. Here only one case is shown for a YND1 transformer. For a YND1 transformer, to assess its vector group, we have to connect the neutral point of star connected winding to what? Join 1U of HV2, 2W of LV, apply a 415 volt 3-phase supply to the HV terminals, measure the voltage between LV winding 2U, 2V, 2W with respect to the HV winding neutral, and measure the voltages of 2V, 1V, 2W, 1W and 2V, 1W. For a transformer of Y and D11 connection, the transformer should satisfy the two equations which is shown and marked 1 and 2. If the transformer satisfied these two equations 1 and 2, then we can say this transformer belongs to YD11 group. Polarity testing of transformer is another important test for parallel operation of transformer. On the primary side of a two-winding transformer, one terminal is positive with respect to other one at any instant. At the same instant, one terminal of secondary winding is positive with respect to the other one. Polarity test is performed to determine the terminals having the same instantaneous polarity. The relative polarities of primary and the secondary terminals at any instant must be known for connecting windings of the same transformer in parallel or in series, or for interconnection of two or more transformers in parallel. For determination of relative polarity of the two windings of a transformer, the two windings are connected in series across a voltmeter, while one of the winding, preferably the HV winding, is excited from a suitable AC voltage source, as illustrated in this picture. if the polarities of the windings are as marked on the diagram, that is, when the transformer has a subtractive polarity, the voltmeter will read the difference between E1 and E2. And if the voltmeter reads E1 plus E2, the polarity marking of one of the winding must be interchanged. In subtractive polarity, the voltage between capital A1 and small a1 is reduced. The lead connected to these terminals and the two windings are therefore not subjected to any high voltage stress. On the other hand, in additive polarity, the two windings A1 and A2 are subjected to high voltage stresses. This is the reason that subtractive polarity is preferred over the additive polarity. The above test may not be convenient for determination of polarity in the field. The polarity test in the field can be conveniently carried out by using a DC battery, a switch, and a DC voltmeter. This is permanent magnet type voltmeter. The cyclic diagram of which is shown in the figure. As soon as the switch is closed, the primary current increases, and so as the flux linkage of both the windings. And this flux will induce EMF in both the windings. The positive polarity of this induced EMF in the primary is at the end to which the battery is connected. This is basically according to the Lenz law. If the battery positive terminal is this terminal, so the induced EMF will be acting in a direction so as to oppose its cause. So the induced EMF positive direction will be this A2 terminal. The end of the secondary which simultaneously acquires the positive polarity as determined by this DC voltmeter is the similar polarity end. The reverse happens on opening the switch of the system, that is the similar polarity end is that end which acquires the negative polarity. So now we will discuss about open circuit and short circuit test of transformer. These tests are performed to determine the circuit constant, efficiency and regulation of a transformer without actually loading the transformer. And these tests are accurate than taking measurement by actual loading, as the power consumption during this test are very low. In case of open circuit test, high voltage winding is left open and rated voltage with rated frequency is applied to the low voltage winding. Voltmeter, wattmeter and ammeter is connected to the low voltage winding. As the HV winding is open circuited, reading of the ammeter will be the no load current. The voltmeter reading will be the primary rated voltage V1. The wattmeter reading will be iron or coal loss, because the HV side is open, so no load current will be the only current, so copper loss will be 0 and the wattmeter reading will only show the iron loss or coal loss. Now from this equation we can also find out the no load power factor of the transformer. Also the component of core loss and magnetizing current component can be conveniently found with this open circuit test. Short circuit test of transformer is also done to find out the copper loss component and find out the equivalent circuit parameter of the transformer. In this test, LV side of the transformer is sorted by a thick conductor. Ammeter, voltmeter and wattmeters are connected to the HV side for the measurement purpose, which is shown in the schematic diagram. LV windings are sorted here. Variable supply voltage, so that is an auto transformer, is connected to the HV winding. 5 to 10% of the rated voltage is applied on the HV winding, as this amount of voltage is enough to circulate the full load current through the secondary of the transformer. The ammeter reading will show the full load current in the primary current. The voltmeter reading will show the short circuit voltage and the wattmeter reading will show the full load copper loss. As the secondary is short circuited, so and the short circuit voltage is very low, and as the voltage is low, the core losses will be very less, so it can be neglected, and the reading of the wattmeter is only the full load copper loss reading. Power factor at this short circuit condition can be found out from the expression of the full load copper loss. Equivalent resistance of the transformer referred to primary and equivalent impedance of the transformer referred to primary is can also be found from this test parameters. and also equivalent impedance referred to the secondary can also be found by dividing these quantities by the trans ratio, by the dividing this quantity with the square of the trans ratio. Now we will study the measurement of insulation resistance of a transformer. This is essentially a type test and as well as the routine test. The measurements of insulation resistance is performed to check the overall healthiness of a insulation system of transformer. To do this test, disconnect all the line terminals and the load terminals from the HV and the LV bushing of the transformer under test. Open its neutral connection from the ground. For low voltage or medium voltage transformer, this test is done by 500 volt to 1000 volt insulation tester. The insulation tester can be hand operated, which is popularly known as Mega, or it can be digital instrumentation instrument or digital insulation tester. For a two winding power transformer where only HV and LV winding is present, insulation resistance is measured between the HV and LV winding, between HV and R, and between LV and R. And accordingly, mega test leads are connected to the HV winding, LV winding, or HV winding or R, or LV winding on R. In case of an auto transformer, insulation resistance is measured in between HV-IV to LV, HV-IV to R, and LV to R. For a three winding transformer with tertiary winding, insulation resistance is measured between HV winding, tertiary winding, HV winding to LV winding, and HV winding to R, LV winding to R, LV winding tertiary winding, and tertiary winding to R. Oil temperature should be noted while performing this insulation resistance test because the transformer windings are submerged in the insulating oil, and with the increase of temperature, insulation resistance varies. So IR value to be recorded for 15 seconds, 1 minute and 15 minutes. IR value increases with the increase in the duration of the test. Magnetic balance test is also performed in the three-phase transformer to check the imbalance in the magnetic circuit. The procedure of the test is described here. The transformer should be isolated from the system. Its tap changer would be in normal position. Disconnect the transformer neutral from ground. Apply a single phase 230 volt AC supply across one of the HV winding terminals and neutral terminals. Measure the voltage in two other HV terminals with respect to neutral. Repeat the test for each of the three phases. A table is shown here which shows the value of the induced voltage in other phases when a 230 volt single phase supply is applied to one of the phases. Suppose on the left side phase of the transformer 230 volt is applied. So in the central phase 75% of the applied voltage, that is 180 volt, will be induced, and at the furthermost phase 25% of the applied voltage, that is the 50 volt, will be induced. So this is known as the magnetic balance test. Any deviation from the above result will call for inspection of the magnetic circuit. Next, we will study the magnetizing current test of the transformer. Magnetizing current test is performed to locate defects in the magnetic core structure, shifting of winding, failure in between turns of insulation, etc. As this condition effectively increases the reluctance of the transformer core. The procedure is to keep the tap changer in the lowest position and open all the HV and the LV terminals. Then apply a three-phase 415 volt supply on line terminal for three-phase transformer and a 230 volt single-phase supply for single-phase transformer. Measure the supply voltage and current in each phases. Now repeat the test with tap changer in normal position and in highest position. Normally there are two similar higher readings on two outer limb phases on transformer core and one lower reading at the central limb phase. In case of a three-phase transformer, an agreement to within 30% of the measured exciting current with the previously test value is usually considered satisfactory. If the measured excitation current value is 50 times higher than the value measured previously, then the transformer should be inspected before it should be put into the service. Temperature rise test of transformer is basically a type test of transformer. This test is done to see the maximum temperature rise of the transformer under full load condition and occasional overload condition. This is an important test because if we don't know the maximum temperature rise of the transformer, we cannot design its insulation. The transformer windings are insulated from each other by means of paper insulation, and these insulations get deteriorated with the increase of the temperature. So the transformer maximum temperature or allowable temperature limit should be known to us, and for this reason temperature rise test of transformer is performed. This is essentially a type test of transformer. Vacuum testing on tank and radiator is also performed to check whether there is any leakage in the transformer tank on the radiator. A vacuum machine is connected on the transformer tank, and transformer is subjected to vacuum, and it remains vacuum for a prolonged period. And with the gauge attached with the vacuum testing machine, we will see that whether the pressure drops or not. If the pressure drops from the set vacuum value, then there will be a leakage on the tank and the radiator system. Test on OLTC or on-load tap changer is also performed in a transformer to check for any loose contact is present on the on-load tap changer or not. Whether its diverter switch is operating satisfactorily or not is also seen from this OLTC check. Now all the type testing procedures and routine testing procedure described. We will now describe the special testing of transformer. The special testing of transformer is the testing that are agreed between the customer and the manufacturer of transformer. The first testing is the determination of capacitance between winding and earth and between the winding. This is tan delta test. Now we will study the what is the tan delta test of the transformer. Basically, any insulator can be viewed as a capacitor in its purest form. That the insulating material or the dielectric material is present in any insulator, and the insulator top portion is conducting in nature, whereas the bottom portion is also connected to ground, which is conducting and which is also conducting in nature. Now, tan delta test or the capacitance test is performed on the transformer to assess the overall healthiness condition of its insulation. A pure insulator, when is connected across line and earth, will behave as a capacitor. In an ideal insulator, as the insulating material which acts as a dielectric is 100% pure, the electric current passes through will have only the capacitive component. And if we draw the phasor diagram between the applied voltage and the capacitive component of the current, the capacitive current will lead the applied voltage by an angle 90 degree. But in practical, pure insulator is not existent because due to impurities, some inherent impurities are there. Also due to aging effect of insulator, impurities, dirt and moisture ingress into the insulator. These impurities provide a path to the current, and as a result a leakage current, this is the resistive component of current, flows to the insulator body. So the insulator can be viewed as a capacitor in parallel with a resistance connected. So the angle between the voltage and capacitive current is slightly less than the 90 degree, and this angle, tangent of this del angle, is known as the loss angle of the insulator. Here tan delta is ratio of the resistive current to the capacitive current. For a good insulator, this resistive current should be very low, and accordingly the value of the tan delta will be less than 1. This is basically a low frequency test. To perform this test, transformer is isolated from the system. Tan delta test kit should be connected as per the test kit drawing. HV lead of the tan delta test kit will be connected to the transformer bushing, and the return wire or return cable of the kit will be connected to the bushing tan delta point in case of tan delta measurement of transformer bushing. Then With the mode selection in the tan delta test case, generally for bushing, we select ungrounded specimen test mode. We perform the tan delta test by applying 2.5 kilovolt, 5 kilovolt and 10 kilovolt test voltages. A very low frequency test voltage of the order 0.1 to 0.01 Hz is applied to the transformer bushing. Value of test voltage, test current in milliampere, distortion factor, power consumed for the test, and the capacitance are displayed at the end of the test. Tan delta value should be constant for these voltage ranges for a good insulation. For the winding tan delta test of the transformer, the procedure is same, and we apply the voltages 2.5 kilovolt first, then 5 kilovolt and 10 kilovolt. The value of the tan delta results are noted down in a register, and these tests are performed after 2 to 3 years, and the result are tallied with the past result. For a new insulation or good insulation, the value of the tan delta will remain approximately constant with the increase of the supply voltage or test voltage. But for a bad insulation or the old insulation, the tan delta value is increased with the application of the system voltage. Now we will study the sweep frequency response analysis test. Sweep frequency response analysis test is a special test of transformer testing. This test is also performed in the site to check whether any abnormality has happened during the transportation of the transformer from factory premises to customer site. This test is done at the transformer factory as well as the customer side to check whether any winding deformation, axial or radial, has formed, buckling of winding, tilting and spiraling of winding has formed inside the transformer, displacement between high voltage and low voltage winding, partial winding collapse, shorted or open turns, faulty ground of core movement, broken clamp structure, problematic internal connection can be found out to the help of the sweep frequency response analysis test. The principle of this test is quite simple. All the electrical equipments theoretically have some resistance, inductance and capacitance value, and hence can be considered as a complex RLC circuit. In a transformer, each winding of transformer is separated from each other by paper insulation, which acts as a dielectric, and winding themselves have some amount of resistance and inductance. So practically, transformer may be considered as a complicated distributed RLC network, which is shown in this diagram. As the winding is itself is a distributed RLC circuit, it will behave like RLC filter and give different output voltages at different frequencies. A sinusoidal test voltage is applied to one end of the winding and output voltage is measured at the other end of the winding. Other end of the winding is kept open circuited. Now if the voltage level is fixed and the input frequency is varied over a wide range, we will get different output voltages at different frequencies depending upon the RLC nature of the winding. If we plot those output voltages against the corresponding frequencies, we will get a particular pattern for a winding. But after the transportation or heavy short circuit fault, transient switching fault or lightning impulse voltages, we have to do this same separate test and superimpose this result with the previous value to see if any deviation are observed. Then we can assess that there is a mechanical displacement and deformation occurred in the winding. Three curves are shown here where two number of cards are superimposed on each other. One curve is from the factory test value and other curve is which is tested at the site or which is tested on condition monitoring after 5 or 10 years. In addition to this, these SFRA tests are also help us to compare between physical condition of the same winding of different phases at the same tap position. It also compares different transformer of a same design lot. So this sweep frequency response analysis test is a very useful test. Now we'll study the dielectric test. The transformer, when operation in the power system, are subjected to power frequency over voltage, lightning impulse voltage, and switching impulse voltage. Power frequency over voltages are generated in the power system by ferroresonance, load rejection, and single line to ground fault. During power frequency over voltages can be sustained in the network for a couple of minutes to couple of seconds. Transformer dielectric must withstand this occasional power frequency over voltages in the system. To test the dielectric test of transformer to this occasional power frequency over voltages, two procedures are adopted. That is, one is the separate source voltage withstand test of transformer, and another is induced voltage test of the transformer. The value of the power frequency withstand voltage for different voltage levels are shown in this table. For a 132 kilovolt normal system voltage transformer, its highest system voltage is 145 kilovolt, and its dielectric system must be tested to a 230 kilovolt to 275 kilovolt RMS value at power frequency, and we have to see that whether the dielectrics is able to withstand this amount of high voltage. This is basically the power frequency withstand voltage test. A transformer in special testing procedure also undergoes impulse testing. These impulse testing are basically high voltage transformer is tested with high voltage generator where voltage spikes are given to the transformer. These voltage spikes are designed to analogous the lightning impulse and the switching impulse test. The transformer must withstand this impulse test value, and if the if after the test there is no breakdown is found, then we can say that the transformer dielectric withstand this impulse testing. So the tan delta test and dielectric test has been described here. Other special tests are the zero sequence impedance of the three-phase transformer. This test is performed to to assess the zero sequence impedance of a three-phase transformer. This test is required to see that how easily zero sequence current flows through the transformer winding in case of single line to ground fault or the earth fault condition. Also, the harmonics or no load currents are also tested here. No load component of the transformer current is not purely sinusoidal in nature. It contains odd harmonic, third harmonic, sixth harmonic, ninth harmonic. So analysis of this current is also important. Determination of acoustic sound level, transient voltage transfer between winding is also done as a purpose of special testing. Measurement of power taken by the cooling circuit, that is fan and pump, is also assessed in the special testing. Test on the brought out component, that is Buchholz relay, temperature indicator, and PRD is also done in the special testing procedure. Sweep frequency analysis of the transformer, which I have described earlier, is also special testing. Now, the testing done at factory, the transformer is sent to the customer site where it is undergo certain testing. Before commissioning of the transformer undergoes certain testing in the site, which are known as the pre-commissioning testing. Pre-commissioning testing includes winding resistance test, trans ratio test, insulation resistance value test, polarity test, vector group test, magnetizing current test, magnetic balance test, SFRA test, bushing and winding tan delta test, protective relay testing, and transformer wire testing. Also, condition-based monitoring tests are done in site. A transformer is operated in power system, and it is expected to remain operative in the power system for its entire service life, which is approximately taken 30 years. So during the service life, the transformer is tested for insulation resistance test, tan delta test of winding and bushing. Periodic test on transformer oil is also done. These tests include breakdown voltage of oil, acidity, specific resistance test, water content, interfacial tension test, tan delta test, DGA test, and Courant test. Today in this video, I am just giving you the brief idea of all the testing procedures which a transformer undergoes. I will make separate videos one by one in which the detailed procedures of every testing will be described. So subscribe my channel and watch my videos which are about to come. Test on the transformer temperature controller such as the WTI and OTI, fan and pump control, etc. is also done as a part of the transformer condition based monitoring testing. Also, emergency testing of the transformer is done in the site as per the condition arises in the site. So in this video, hope I have covered all the testing procedure of transformer. If you like my videos, please do subscribe my channel. Your one subscription give me motivation. In this video, I have covered total transformer testing procedure. So I will make now further more videos in each of the topics where I will elaborately discuss about the details of testing procedure of transformer. Thank you for watching the videos.